Howdy. It's been some time, and I figured one of the things that I told myself I was going to do was start that project soon. But now I'm starting to have that point of, should we experiment? Yes. Can I help you? Can I help you? You probably can't see her, but I got my dingo with me. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay. Camera shy. Nothing? Nothing? No, you can't sit up here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hi. Yes, I see you, yes. Alright, you got to go for a second. Go. Stubborn. So, I guess this whole thing is experiment. This is going to be a weird angle that I'm doing this from, so don't think anything is going to be permanent with this, but this is more the aspect of how I'm handling things. We're going to try this premium stripper and see if this does anything. It says it works on, it strips paint from epoxy, strips paint, epoxy, and polyurethane from wood, metal, and masonry. But we're about to find out. We're going to do a small spot. We're going to start with the black body. I figured the other one is going to be my bigger challenge. But you don't know until you try something, right? Let's do this back spot right here. Now let that sit for a second. And then I have these brushes right here. They go from different variations of coarseness. If I can learn how to open things, that'll probably help out. Oh my god, it's got an awful smell. One of the things that I told myself I genuinely want to do is learn how to make my own guitars, because I want to know what it's like, the process. I see all of these other people doing it, and I wonder if they go through the same thing. By the way, that's this paint thinner on this, so I'm about to start scrubbing, see if it does anything. Let me see if I can get a better angle somehow. I think I know what to do. Okay. Without me trying to mess anything up, especially with my angle, my camera. Working with a tripod is a lot harder than it should be. But let's just see if this works the way I'm thinking it does. There we go. Actually, I am seeing something come up, so that's worth something. Note to self, do this while you're outside. I am not going to lie. I think if I were to do this inside, I'm pretty sure I would be lit off my ass. This is noxious. I will say, it is definitely noticeable. So the main goal is for me to get all the way to the wood. I want to know what kind of wood it is, because if it's what I think it is, alder, I have a good feeling about working with this. It is a lightweight body, I can already tell you that. But using it as a base for the next idea, it gives me more open ideas for whenever I actually start making my own project. Look at that. With me scrubbing with this, I don't know if you can see it better. We're already getting to wood. To me, that's a win. The only problem is, how much more am I going to have to do with this? How deep am I? Actually, it's a really neat finish underneath. But here comes the bigger problem. It still looks glossy underneath, so it looks like there's a worse finish. Alright, hold on. I'll be right back. I gotta get some water. And hopefully nothing that's going to burn anything. Watch out, baby. I am back. Sorry. Yeah, let's hope that nothing cut out. Okay. It's a lot of flakes, I'm not gonna lie. So one of the things I told myself was, what am I doing wrong in my life to where I feel this way? Well, going back to my previous videos, I've always found that it makes me happy to be working on instruments, playing games, doing things that genuinely make me happy. But it's one of those things like I don't know what made me happy in the first place. I have the people that I love being around, like my kids, my loved ones, my significant other. They make me happy. But underneath, there's always something worse. And it's nothing that people can really help you with. They can, but not quite directly. Or at least that's what I thought for the longest time. You know, the more I look into this and how this works itself, I always wanted to know, how is it that people can make a guitar from just a blank piece of wood? It made no sense to me at first. Like, how? Why would they? What's the point when you can just buy your own? Well, the more I think on it and the more I delve, I realize that sometimes people had innovation, drive, a passion. Well, even though I have depression, I have passion. But where is the passion? Where was it in the first place? I always think that. And then I started really kind of setting on that idea. What is the passion that I have? I've always had a passion for music. That's never, ever stopped with me. But the biggest thing was, why? Well, obviously, because I love music. I love music. I wish I could play music properly. I wish I could find a way to apply myself. You would think with my ADHD self, I could apply myself to become a phenomenal musician, professional at least. But then I realized I don't, because I am so ADHD, I hop to the next item. It's like opening up 35 pages on your internet browser. Why? Well, I need to make sure I'm looking at the next one. You have good memory recall sometimes, but then you kind of go, oh right, I was looking at this last. My bad. Well, my drive's like that. But I also do, in some ways, attribute my depression to that. Because, well, I don't have a straightforward drive. I have a drive that lets me do what I need to do. That's why I get sidetracked to my job. That's never fun, nor is it easy. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this a little, get rid of some of the water or the paint, and see if that does anything. Don't know until we try, right? Need more pressure. Oh, shame. Well, it did something. Let's see if I can get closer. But I can see some wood underneath, which is awesome. That's what I'm going for. You know, should I have gotten napkins for this? Or a towel? Huh. That's the best part about this, is I'm learning as I go. Trying to make sure I'm doing the right thing, because I have no guideline. I'm figuring everything out as I do it. Give me a sec. One last run out. I'll be right back, baby. Okay, if y'all heard anything, I live with family. I believe I mentioned that. Whenever I say about, not knowing who to talk to, I have good family. I have great family. I even have Harper. That's my dog. She's phenomenal. Look at that. Look at that grain. That is what I'm looking for. At the end of the day, what I want to do is I want to give this a stain. I think a stain would be phenomenal, because I want this beauty to be shown. Sometimes you can have a really good looking clean guitar that looks super nice glossy, but it doesn't look right. At least it doesn't look right to me. Sometimes you need to let the inner beauty show. And that's one of the things I really wish I had known about myself. I always try to be something I'm not. In reality, I should be happy with who I am. I'm a nerd in so many ways. One, I also don't like to take shit from others. But I'm also, in some ways, I can be pushed around to do whatever. Is that fun? And no way. None. I've never once thought to myself, wow, I really love being pushed around to do something I don't want to. But I really, really want to always help. I love the idea of helping people. But sometimes that causes stress. It makes you feel like you're not doing the right thing for yourself. Because what if you have loved ones that are relying on you? Like right now, at a previous job I had, there was a person I used to be really good friends with. What job? I'm not saying. Just because, there's no need to put anybody out on blast. All I'm using this as an example. One of the things that I used to do was hang around with this one guy. And he was a good dude at first. But it was always, we needed to go hang out with him. There's nothing wrong with hanging out with him. But we all had families. And we would always go over to his house and it would always be us hanging out with him and his family. Well, we wanted to go hang out with our families too. He had a son he wanted to learn how to be more, in tune with. Same as me. I was learning to still be a dad. I had just understood my first separation. I was already going through some stuff. This was before I even had an idea that I had this form of depression. Which, by the way, I have a form, it's manic depression, so I guess you can consider that, what is that, bipolar syndrome? I guess that's what it is. But I found my way with forms of medication which help. Is it ideal? No. In no way is it ideal. I hate the idea of feeling zombie-esque. This is the first, this is my first time in a week since the start of the medication that this has been a pretty normal day for me. Is it something I'm proud of? Yes, I'm very proud that I'm on this medication now. Am I okay with it? I have to be. I want to be normal again. I want to go back to feeling normal. You can get help if you're struggling through this. There is no reason that you have to fight and be alone. Depression is scary, and it's terrifying to think about. I'm not gonna lie. It scared me. It's something that's terrifying to think about. Is there anyone gonna be there for you in the end? Is everyone leaving you? Do you feel like your back is to a wall? I felt that a lot. And when I tell you I felt that more than you know, it is terrifying. It really is. So whenever I come up with something on the fly like music, it always relates to the way I'm feeling. My riffs that I come up with are something that I think of on the fly, usually, or it's something that's on my head and it's led to a moment in time. I had this riff I used to work with this last guy, which I'm about to relate back to the story in just a second. Remember I was telling you about the whole open Chrome browser thing? The internet browser pages? I used to play and get a lot of my angrier riffs from this guy because he never would listen to any of how we felt. He was nice, don't get me wrong, but he was very demanding when it came to the people he hang out with. Now, he had kids, he had a wife, a house, and everything, and he would get real mad whenever we didn't want to hang out with him. He would ditch the time with his kids to make sure that we would go hang out with him. And it made me kind of feel conflicted. Like, yeah, I'm glad I have a friend. A real friend would want you to be happy for yourself before them. Now, I have another friend. Now, this guy, this is my brother. Swear. If I didn't know any better, he was a brother in a different life. But he is, to me, he is my best friend, but he is my brother. He's phenomenal. I get on and play games with him every now and then, whenever I have time, or I'm not having a moment in my life where I feel like everything's falling out. Case in point. I really saw what my friend was telling me about at the time, because we all played games together. We didn't work together, but we all played games together, mutual friends and whatnot. And he tells me, he says, hey, is he pushing y'all to hang out with him? And I was like, yeah, he's getting him upset about it. He goes, I wouldn't. Oh. And my friend would kind of feel a little off about it, because he was like, damn, why can't you hang out with me more often? Jokingly. And they all was joking, My best friend, brother, doesn't have kids or anything. He has a girlfriend who cares immensely about him, and he has pets. And he's very, very, very loved. Yeah. Let me put it this way. This guy is so trustworthy of a friend, and I knew I'd have a lifetime friend because I made him my oldest child's godfather. He's a good man. I don't deserve a friend like him. I should deserve a lot of things. In morality, I don't deserve a lot of things because sometimes I don't deserve them. Is how I thought too. I used to think that. In reality, I should be able to be happy and be accepting of things I should deserve. Like, I deserve having good people in my life. Do I genuinely deserve it? No. But I'm glad to have it and have those that care about me in my life. I'm glad I have another child. I'm glad I have my oldest. He's a teenager. That tripped me out to think about. I have a teenager. Never would have thought about that. But anyways, my point being is sometimes when you look at someone, it's going to sound like gibberish when I say, by the way. Don't look at it this way. This is me doing what I do normally. Talk and not shut up. Am I going somewhere with it? Well, simple. That friend, or that former friend that I talked about, made me realize how far away from my goal I was in life. And I didn't realize I had a goal at the time. I had a goal to be successful in life for my children. At the time, child. Now it's children. And that guy was not helping me because he wanted to keep me into one place while we watched him succeed. There's nothing wrong with that. But whenever you're a guy like me that has what I have, you don't think anything about it. Instead, you deal with it. You put up with it. One of the things I really should have noticed was that was a sign of depression. Because you're complacent and you just let it happen. Smile and bite your teeth. Years later, I would have the support that I really never thought I would have. And I realized I need to see everything for how it is. Sometimes you change for a great and better reason. You saw my short with the headless neck. Sometimes you really need to change. You don't change for yourself. You do. But you change for the better of others. Yourself is the main benefactor, yeah. Because sometimes you can have the toxic muck that's on top of you that's holding you down and keeping you from being happy. This nasty black gunk, this stuff right here, that black gunk can cloud. Well, mind the really bad jar, it was the only thing I had. It can cloud that water, that serene water that you have. And it's going to take a long time for you to start really digging deeper. Because before you know it, you'll have the tools that you need to start wiping yourself clean and doing better. And then, when that time comes to wipe it all away, you'll go from looking on the outside, so from this, to really scratching the surface of who you really are. Like I said, it's going to sound like gibberish when I talk. But there's always something that I lead back to. I'm happy. I never thought I would be happy. But my depression keeps me from realizing that. This project is actually kind of nice. It's helping me kind of get to the point where I need to. Now, mind you, am I coming up across big problems? You bet. My biggest problem right now is figuring out, is this right here a different layer underneath, or am I just going crazy? I feel like this is a different layer underneath. Because I'm not seeing any sort of move. If it is, then I need to go deeper and deeper and figure out if I can get that gunk off. Because honestly, this is going to be a bigger problem trying to get that out. Because I want to get to the wood itself. The wood I'm trying to stain this into a really unique color. Remember, I have 4 projects. If y'all, whoever is watching this, I have 4 projects. The one I was going to work on, the one that I'm using the headless neck for, I can't use that one. Because that is made of a really weird composite wood. And I don't know how this thinner is going to work. I don't know if I have to go into straight manual sanding for that. Because it's like a particle wood. Something that I was just not expecting out of a guitar from a body from the 70s. Does it make sense? Yeah, it does. It does. But is it one I was really expecting to be a challenge? No. For as small as a body as it was, I was not expecting it to be a problem. I was expecting, honestly, to be an easy job. But would that be fun if it was an easy job? No. If I was really building guitars, then yeah, no big deal. I could care less. But that's the thing. This is a project. I'm learning how to do everything from scratch. I'm testing things. Like this right now, this is probably the biggest step I've ever taken into doing something like this than I ever would have thought of just grabbing a couple of kits, slapping my name on it, calling it a day. Well, there's no fun in that. Where's the experimentation? When I go and say change, this is a good sign of it. When you start breaking out of your shell to do things you never expected yourself to do. Hi, Bug. How you doing? You start really changing your outlook on things. Like, it took me a little bit longer to try to figure out exactly what I was doing when it came to this. I honestly didn't know what I was doing, if I'm being 100 with you. I'm just kind of going with the whim. Oh my god, this is awful. I should have got more napkins. But if I didn't do it, then how am I really advancing me? I'm just gonna keep saying I'm gonna do this, but I never do. Well, there's no fun in that. I'm glad I did. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the guy that I call my brother, that dude is the one that got me this guitar. So if he's watching this, I know he's subscribed to my channel. If he's watching this, you're going to watch a completely different guitar come into light. Assuming I can figure this paint situation out. But overall, this experiment worked a lot better than I thought. I got off a lot more than I was really expecting in a short amount of time. And it's actually really impressive. One of the things that I'm thinking is if I decide to do this and continue any further, it's going to take me forever to get this done. When in reality, it should not take me no more than 4 to 5 hours. But I've also got the front and everything to think about. I don't think it should take me this long. There's got to be an easier way to handle this. Is that going to stop me? No. It just means I have to start thinking about better ways for the next project, especially if I'm doing, recovery projects, renewals. I want these to be something that's an integral part of my next step in life. Because my goal in life is to make guitars. I would love to make guitars for a living. I would love to make, hear me out, it sounds dumb. Because I guarantee someone's already done it before, and they probably have. But one of the things that I really wish I had when I was younger was a really good playing guitar that was affordable. So I didn't feel like it was a waste of time in case something happened. I wanted something that had a high resale value. That way, in case something happened and I never got into playing, someone else could pick it up, buy it. You never lost money. But you know that you didn't spend a lot for a good quality instrument. I love the idea of traditional and modern. One of the projects I have set out is something I call I consider it a custom classic. I want to take something very special. We have a frog over here. Sorry, my head darted that way. We have a frog over here. He's just chilling. I'd show you a picture, but then you're going to really see like the outside of where I'm at. It's not very pretty looking. But I'm outside and back, so, you know. Anyways, my point that I'm trying to get at is I want to make guitars that have the beauty of a standard, a classic. But I also want to give modern aesthetics so people can pick them up that are accustomed to these old, strong, powerful smell. I want to be able to give people a classic feeling guitar, but for a good price that they don't have to worry about breaking the bank. Something that they know is, especially if they're touring, a roadworthy instrument. It's an affable idea, and I believe it's doable in some ways. But yeah, it's not original. There are people like Strandberg and PRS that have thought about this. Paul Reed Smith is a madman when it comes to his instruments. I used to not like PRS's, but then I played on one. I played a, a Mira? Can never afford one. I will be 100 with you. Would I love one? Oh, for sure, for sure. But I would love to have a Mira because it's beautiful. It plays well. The neck is solid. I've also played a SC277, a baritone, which is the first time I've ever played a baritone of that scale, and it does not feel like it's a baritone. That is a wild feeling. I'm glad I'm outside with ventilation. Note to self. Mask. I'm going to go to bed high. I know I am. I do not condone that, by the way. But holy shit, this is this is noxious. I think also scraping that way might help. I think I'm scraping it over here. It's not good. Wow, that is a... That's a... I'm gonna look stupid doing this, I just want you to know that. It helps. Not a lot, though. No, it doesn't help. It's gotten worse. I'll be right back. I'm not getting the mask. I just don't think I can handle that right now. Uno momento. Almost done outside. Yes, baby, I just went inside to get some napkins. Oh, yeah. Where am I? Oh, yeah. Dying of what I feel is like drugs. Alright, let's get all this in this bag. I don't think this is going to be good in the long run, but hey, you never know. I will say this is the first time I've actually felt comfy doing something like this. Oh my god, it's awful. I feel like I could have handled that 10 times better. But the outcome is looking really solid. I feel like if I had like a rag, that would be good. I just don't know how good it's going to work out. You know what? Give me a sec. Probably shouldn't be doing that in the grass, but I need to get it cleared. I'm gonna test something. Let's see, I wanna know if this works the way I'm thinking it does, because if it does, it works. I'm gonna spray some of this stuff on and just leave it. See what that does in the long run. Because if this takes more out and gets me straight to the actual body itself, then it's a win. But overall, compared to the front, this is where we're at on the back. Not bad, especially since y'all watched me start. I'm gonna have a lot more work to do for myself in the morning. Well, I have work. I do night shifts now. But the one thing I can tell you that I've learned that I'm super stoked about is this is the sign. If you don't start something, how do you expect to advance, get better? I have people relying on me. When I mean I have people relying on me, let's hope that doesn't change anything. When I have people relying on me, I mean it. I do. I have loved ones. And it took me a long time to realize that I am loved. It's not easy. It really isn't. Because you always feel like there's no one there. No one there to talk to you, defend you. You feel like you're alone. In reality, you're never alone. So, you ever share, the way you feel with anyone, make sure you share it with loved ones, close friends. Talk to them. They're real good friends. They're not going to let you be in the dark. They'll be your light. Whether it's your loved ones, close friends, even close coworkers. You never know. I've still got good coworker friends. Phenomenal ones at that. They're probably going through stuff themselves, so you never know. But this is a sign. Because sometimes, like I said, you look at the outside of who you are. Sometimes you gotta work backwards to get to the surface of who you truly can be. So, remember, tomorrow is a new day. And the light will always shine. Anyways, but for now, I'll have to call it here. I've got things I gotta do. I'm gonna see if I can get more stuff done. And if so, hey, it works out. But until then, I'll see y'all next time. And I'll see if I can do updates somehow and show y'all. I'll show y'all what I'm working on. I'll even throw out some new riffs. I got a Spark too. So, anyways, for now, catch y'all later. Thanks for watching.